Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome on back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. As always, I do hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. And welcome on back to Chelsea News, of course, the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's been said about Chelsea, giving you my thoughts on it, my feelings, my musings, my opinions. More importantly, as always, asking for yours. Today, of course, we had the Ballon d'Or. Cole Palmer did well, didn't he? Top 8. I could say top 10. Top 8 sounds better. Hannah Hampton winning the goalkeeping award for women's football. I do want to speak also about Kendry Paez, who scored for Strasbourg and he's doing really, really well. A player to look forward to returning. Also, links us to Mike Pender's the goalkeeping situation, Robert Sanchez, the ongoing narrative there. And again, it has to be spoken about because it is the big commercial... the commercial elephant in the room, the sponsorship. Big butthole Borson has been talking about it, and it's an article on Football Insider, so I want to react to that. Because it is fascinating, it is peculiar, and it's frustrating. Where the ruddy heck is my front of shirt sponsor? Look at all these shirts behind me about sponsors. It's fun, but it needs to end. Yeah.
Way so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
What's going on? How are you? So yes, by the way, thanks for joining me. If you want to support the content, I'll be most grateful. You can do that by just dropping a like on the video. Subscribing, we are on the road to 200,000 subs, so you could be part of that journey. Become an OG member of the GOAT gang by subscribing. And indeed, if you have any, hold on. If you have any of your hype points to spare, please pop them into the hat. I should put like a hat down here, like a graphic hat, like a little sort of Oliver Twist hat, where you like tap the hype points on your phone. Yeah, you know what? Just a little. I'm gonna get into all the news, but just a bit of a life update, and it's not immediately, but in the next, say, 6 months, maybe like so in the new year onwards, I'm going to try and move. Yeah. I want a bigger office, basically, to work in. And I know you guys are always like, Jan, we just love you, mate. We don't care about the format of content, which is lovely. And not all of you are saying that. But I do try and mix up the format. And I will want, to maybe build a sort of almost studio set in a bigger room. So anyway, that's something that might happen down the line. But let's start off with Le Ballon d'Or. Ouh là là, c'est une grande situation. By the way, speaking of grand situations, Olympique Marseille beating Paris Saint-Germain last night was great fun. In the absence of some PSG players of the Ballon d'Or, which is a perfect opportunity to say félicitations pour Ousmane Dembélé. He won the Ballon d'Or, deservedly. I know this is a Chelsea piece of content, but we were involved with the Ballon d'Or to a degree. Yes, he deserved it. Yamal's an amazing footballer. He'll win loads of Ballon d'Ors in his career, but what did Dembele win? Like the quadruple, all the individual awards on the way, and he was so vital to how that system was transformed midway through the season as the false nine. And he wasn't just tapping in goals and assists like Mo Salah, finishing moves. He was pressing from the front, leading from example. That's why, I know, yes, I'm a Chelsea fan. Yes, I'm biased. But that's why, when we talk about... And, by the way, Curtis Jones, Liverpool fan, said Hazard's a better footballer than Salah. And that's his teammate. Salah can literally do nothing all game, stand on, the sort of touch line and just get an assist at the end and get you FPL points. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. It's his job. But Hazard used to win... man of the match awards by not getting any goals or assists, and he was like, wow, he was transformative in the game. But look, different kind of players, different roles. Similarly, I think just you could replace Yamal with another really good winger and Barcelona would still be very good. Dembele was transformative. But Chelsea, firstly, shout out to Hannah Hampton. Is it Yashin? Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, Yashin Trophy, the women's goalkeeper award. She won that, Chelsea goalkeeper. She did a great speech, by the way, as well. Shout out to her. I didn't actually watch the Ballon d'Or ceremony because it's a marathon and I was tired, but I was keeping a sort of, glancing eye over clips. I watched her acceptance speech, and yeah, really well said. Well done to Hannah. Yes, and of course, our boy, Cole Palmer, got top 8. Not bad, really, isn't it? Look. He did really well. He's an amazing player. Of course, rival fans will have a say, how's he done it? How's he done it? Well, the truth is, even though he went off the ball for a long period, he still had a really productive season. He still got top 4 of Chelsea. He still won the Conference League with Chelsea, winning man of the match in the final. He still won the Club World Cup with Chelsea, winning man of the match in the final, winning the best player in the competition award, which was high profile against, of course, the Ballon d'Or winners, PSG, and Ousmane Dembele's PSG. So yeah, man, and it's 8th. He is our joint 7th highest winner or something. He was above, just below Mbappe. He's a lot above Harry. To be honest, I didn't think he'd be above people like Harry Kane and Pedri. Guilty, Your Honor. I didn't think he'd be above those, man. But he was, which is great fun. And look, he's only 23. He doesn't turn 24 to the end of the season. He's got a groin injury. We need to manage that. But he's going to have an excellent career individually and hopefully in terms of team. Of course, he's contracted to Chelsea forever. So let's keep him here. Forever. We can't let this guy go, man. And yeah, top 8. Joint. Eden Hazard's highest finish was 8th. So he's already matched Hazard's, the aforementioned Hazard's. He's already matched Hazard's highest finish at Chelsea. And it's great. Congratulations to Cole Palmer for finishing top 8. I'm not going to say top 10. I'm going to say top 8 in the Ballon d'Or rankings. All right, baby. So, but we'll end on the sponsorship talk in just a moment. But I want to hop back to France to speak about, firstly, Kendry Paez, who scored his first goal for Strasbourg in Ligue 1. He is the youngest Ecuadorian to score in Europe. Of course, we know Kendry Paez. He burst onto the scene for in Ecuador when he's 15 years old, breaking all the records for the youngest player to play, start, score, whatever, for both his country and his club. He's now 18. And reading this off Chelsea.news, Graham Bailey of Football Insider said it's all down to his great attitude, which is one thing we were concerned about, because it was all, at first, it was like, oh, Chelsea have locked down Estevao and Paez. Do you know what I mean? These two young, prodigious players. It's these two. And then as time went on, Estevao was doing amazing things with Palmeiras. She was playing in the Club World Cup, scoring against us, breaking Neymar's records, and we all started talking about him. And we forgot about Dre. We forgot about Paez because he had some off the field stuff with going clubbing underage or something. I don't know. And it was clearly we'll follow the Brazilian one's the good one. But Graham Bailey says he's got a great attitude. He says, I'm told Paez has come on leaps and bounds since pre-season. He's really knuckled down and adapted to the Rosinia system, because I'm told the Rosinia system is not easy to play. And so players can take time to adapt, but once they get it, they can get like Omega, of course the striker who joins us in the summer, they get it. That's why the success has come, but I think Paez, I'm told, is really impressed from the start of the season. It's fair to say there was a few little worries about him within Blueco, as they had a huge talent, but they were worried about the way he hadn't settled with the South Americans in Strasbourg squad. I think he's really getting on top of his game now. Of course, he scored. Rosinia seems happy. He's speaking a little bit of French now, Paez. And yeah, I genuinely think it's worth mentioning. I know that it was concerns about the UEFA rules and registering and FFP stuff when we loaned Buonanotte, but there was genuine reporting that the reason why we've just got a 1-year loan for Facundo Buonanotte is because of Paez. Because Paez joins next season, and we didn't want to buy a young player of a similar age to just block him. I mean, Paez is even younger than Buonanotte, I'm assuming, because Paez is 18. He broke records again for being a young Ecuadorian to score in Europe. I think he broke Caicedo's record. which is another player we own. Yeah, man. So he's doing very, very well, and that's nice. And maybe that's why they loaned, Buonanotte and didn't like throw the bank at maybe like a Firmino or Xavi Simons. Because remember, Xavi Simons waited for Chelsea. He's at Tottenham now, but he didn't snub Chelsea. Chelsea never called. Yes. So, also the UEFA stuff might be involved. Also, Mike Penders, I had a really interesting conversation on the podcast Straight Out of Cobham, which of course is the Athletic Chelsea podcast. They were discussing the fallout after Man United. Of course, there's a lot of upset people with Robert Sanchez. Including myself, we all were, weren't we? And of course, there's just growling and, is Jorgensen bad? No, probably not. Jorgensen will play tonight. I'll, of course, react to tonight's game against Lincoln City. Oh, my God, if we don't win that, I will be very troubled. And then, that tonight is Rob Sanchez's one-match ban that he's serving. He'll be back for Brighton on the weekend. Loads of Chelsea fans saying, we've had enough, he's not good enough, yada, yada, yada. I mean, obviously, we're not going to play Jorgensen over him. I mean, I genuinely don't think that's going to happen. And we could, I spoke about a pre-agreement with Maignan maybe in January to sign him on a free in the summer. But like Paez is settling well at Strasbourg, Mike Penders, we need to be mindful of Mike Penders because by the time he's 20 years old, he'll be 21? Yeah, he'll be 21 by the time next campaign starts, which is still very young. And then I know, especially for goalkeepers, it's very young. But look at Gianluigi Donnarumma, who just won the Yashin Award. Is it pronounced Yashin? I hope it is, otherwise I sound like a right knobber. He started when he was like 15 in goal for Milan. So by the time he's 21, we'll start youngsters. Stevao is 18, and we do it sometimes. So maybe if he's performing really well in a top 5 league, Mike Penders. And again, when we've got a bigger sample size, we're going to start doing some statistical deep dives, looking at these players, going, right, over there, he's doing really well. He's doing better than these guys. He could be a Chelsea player. He could be the solution. So this is the kind of, and we'll do screen shares and overlays and all this kind of stuff. So this is why you need to keep it locked. But I genuinely think maybe, in the same way, Chelsea are keeping their powder dry for Kendry Paez. I think they might be doing the same with Mike Penders. And I know I totally accept the frustration for Chelsea fans, how it's always looking forwards. It's always like, yeah, but don't worry. In 2 years, Paez and Estevao are turning up. Yeah, but don't worry. In a year, Paez will come out from loan, Penders will come out from loan, and Giovanni Kender is going to arrive. Yeah. But then there'll be some new wonder kids down the road, and we'll be floating around in obscurity. But something's got to give, because eventually you will have a team with Emmanuel Omega, Paez, Kender, Estevao, Palmer, Penders in goal, a fully fit Levi Colwill, who we've all felt the absence of profoundly. Eventually, you will just have an abundance of talent to pick from in the first team, and there'll be no more excuses. And, Reece James will be a senior player. He'll be in his later 20s, and, no more silly sausage business. So, something's got to give eventually. Let's talk about sponsors. Look, man. I find Stefan Borson a pen 15. Shout out to those of you who remember that in the 90s in UK classrooms. But he's all over the headlines because he talks on TalkSport and he's a financial expert. But he's spoken about he's spoken exclusively to Football Insider. He speaks to everyone, mate. Anyone who listens, and then mugs like me regurgitate his nonsense. But to be fair, it's just an opinion here. So of course we are going into October, the autumn, the spooky month, with no front of shirt sponsor. We are demanding, it says 60, I actually think it's 65, excuse me. Of course we had the Infinite Athlete, under this ownership, the only sponsorship we've had is the temporary, most of 23-24 campaign with Infinite Athlete for 40 million for a single season. Yeah. So Chelsea, of course, we've this chief revenue officer Casper Stilsvig. He's gone. He's left. He's since he arrived from Milan in 2023. Of course, we had loads of people go in and out. Borson does say the dismissal of Stilsvig and Chelsea's lack of front of shirt sponsor. He says, I don't think they're connected necessarily. I think it comes to supply and demand. The market is telling Chelsea wants 60 million. I actually think and believe it's 65. And there's no demand. I suspect there is a demand at 30 million and they've got a decision to make. I don't understand the logic in not having a shirt sponsor for multiple years if money is on the table from a good sponsor because the season's gone, the opportunity is gone, and you've lost the revenue, he's saying. I've got thoughts on this, but I'm more of a cautious kind of operator than the Chelsea owners. I would have taken the money. Of course, we had that very short-term deal with Damac. Maybe we need return of Damac, because we played very well. We won finals wearing Damac, and of course it references the new higher £15 million sleeve deal, and I have a higher washer dryer. That rhymed. Is it higher? A higher washer dryer. I do at home in my kitchen, and I must say I'm happy with it until I'm not. I had to pay a repairman to come round and fix the dry element because some fluff got stuck inside near the thermostat and it overheated it and an error code. So it wasn't really that broken. I paid 185 quid for some geezers to come round, take it apart and just say, look, there's some fluff. Put it back together and it worked. I was like, can I do that? And he was like, no. I was not asking like if I could do it there. I was like, I mean, I'm pretty handy. I do fix stuff. I was like, do I have to pay 180 quid every time it gets a bit of freaking fluff in this hair washing machine? So I hope Chelsea are watching and taking this into consideration when doing business with these cowboys, these washer-dryer cowboys. What am I talking about? Sponsors. Yes, Stefan Borson. Wah, wah, wah. I think, right, I know what he's saying. Look, if there's money on the table, 30 million quid. But the thing is, Chelsea want to nail their colours to the mast with a long-term deal. Like, maybe he's saying, okay, just take a £30 million for this season and give yourself more time to, feel out a proper long-term partner. But I think Chelsea are saying they want a 5-year deal, or should I say 4.5 years now, to sign with a new sponsor that have the Club World Cup badge on next to them, that has 8th place Ballon d'Or, Palmer and Stebao and all these men wearing it. And I feel like probably this is what I'm speculating here, that it's the optics of just going, oh, sod it, we'll just accept a temporary 30 million quid deal. It shows weakness in the market, I think. And not only that, I mean, maybe optics don't come into it when tens of millions are involved, but that's what I think, maybe to a degree. And there's another thing to consider in that. Chelsea kits have probably been selling really, really well lately. I'll be very interested to see what the sales figures are like comparatively to, say, this. I mean, actually, this yellow kit was really quite good. Other kits. I'm trying to think, like, I've got some in the, all the ones that are out. Most of them don't have, so they got Yokohama tires and stuff, but... what am I saying? Because lots of people have enjoyed. They've been good kits recently, like this guy and others, and they look great without the sponsor on. So I wonder if that sort of softened the blow a little bit, if you know what I mean. All right. Let me know your thoughts. Please do leave them down in your comment. Yeah, it's my comment section, but it's your comment section because it's where you guys leave comments. So please leave them in the comment section. Please leave the comments in the comment section. So I was clicking on something, so my brain went elsewhere. And yes, if you are interested in more content from me in a different style, please do subscribe to my sister channel, Football Yannick, where I talk about non-Chelsea related footballing stories. Wow, that's a really clinical and boring way of saying it. I talk about other teams and my opinion on it. I will be back after the game. Keep it locked to Football Therapy. Peace.